Chapter 3.4, Using Number Sense to Solve One-Step Equations. So your vocab for today is equation, open sentence, and solution. After you copy those down, I'd also like you to turn the page to page 126, and I would like you to copy all of these key concept number properties into your math notebook, please. It is going to take a little bit, but I really want you to understand them. So I'm going to go over them really fast with you, and then you can pause and copy them. So the first one is identity properties. There are two, one for addition and one for multiplication. So it says that the sum of 0 and any number is that sum. For example, 0 plus 9 equals 9. It's its own identity. It is itself. For multiplication, the product of 1 and any number is that number. 1 times 9 equals 9. It's itself. So those are the identity properties. The commutative properties say that changing the order of addends, numbers you add together, or factors, numbers you multiply together, does not change the sum or the product. So this is saying that 9 plus 6 is the same as 6 plus 9. You can think of it kind of like a domino. If you turn that domino over, it still has the same number of dots on it. The same goes for multiplying. 9 times 6 and 6 times 9 are both 54. It doesn't change the sum when you add or the product when you multiply. Finally, the associative property says that changing the grouping of numbers does not change the sum or the product. Now, this only works if all of your processes are addition or they are all multiplication. You can't switch them around. You can't have some addition and some multiplication. All one process. So this says that 9 plus, parentheses, 6 plus 4 is the same as parentheses 9 plus 6 and then 4. You can prove that because 6 plus 4 is 10, 9 plus 10 is 19, 9 plus 6 is 15, and 15 plus 4 is also 19. So those are equal. The same is true with multiplication. You can move the parentheses and your product is still the same. All right, so let's take a look at example 1. Example 1 is dealing with an equation. Every equation has an equal sign. An expression does not, an equation does. We want to know whether this is true or false, okay? Meaning, if I add 6 plus 3, I get 19. Well, for an equation to be true, both sides of the equation have to be the same. 19 does not equal 18, so therefore this is a false number sentence. 6 plus 13 does not equal 18. Okay, let's take a look at example number 2. Example number 2, how many baseball cards do you need to add to the 14 cards you already have so that you have a total of 25 cards? Solve the equation n plus 14 equals 25. So I know that I have 14 baseball cards. I want to buy some more so that I have 25 baseball cards in all. So I'm going to kind of think about, well, how would I solve this? How would I find a solution? Because the solution we are looking for, solution, is what n equals. N equals what? How many baseball cards? So, well, I know that by thinking about it, 14 plus 10 is 24, plus 1 more is 25. So I know that 11 plus 14 equals 25. So therefore my solution is n equals 11 cards. Now this is a word problem, so you have to have a unit. What is it that that 11 represents? Okay? All right, example 3. The process of guessing, checking, and revising. In example 2, we kind of used mental math. We said 14 plus 10 is 24, plus 1 more is 25, so that makes 11. But here we have n minus 43 equals 19. Well, that's a little bit bigger math than I can do in my head, so I'm going to start by rounding. N minus 40 equals 20. Well, I know that 60 minus 40 equals 20, so I'm going to guess and start with 60. Okay, I'm going to estimate and say, we'll start with 60, and I'm going to guess and check. So 60 minus 43, 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay, so 60 minus 43 is 17. Well, that's not big enough, so that doesn't work. So let's try 61 minus 43. Well, 11 minus 3 is 8. Still not quite big enough, so 62 minus 43. Borrow. 12 minus 3 is 9. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, I have 19, so n must equal 62. Now this process takes a little bit longer, but it definitely helps if you start by rounding to get kind of an idea of where you need to start. Okay? All right, that's it. Please go ahead and make sure you've copied all of your notes, do your QCs and CYUs, and I will go over this the next time I see you.